Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2014 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me always is
James
and
Brad.
And for 2 weeks in a row,
Bree,
what's up, buddy?
man, I'm glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back. Of course, if you're looking for a barbecue sauce, go to your local area Ace Hardwares and pick up some Birdman barbecue in spicy and original, and you can also get some of that sweet rub.
Worst day of my life. I went to Ace Hardware. They were sold out.
But the best day of the life for Birdman barbecue. So make sure you pick that up. It's the sauce, baby. Also, if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, my earbuds suck dick. We have earbuds that don't suck dick. They eat that sweet pussy. It's Tweaked Audio earbuds. Log on to tweakedaudio.com. Type Real Nerds into the promo code REELNERDS, and you'll get a third off your whole order. No matter how many you order, you get it off.
You got to watch your language a little bit. There are children dressed up like,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey,
There's
children.
Ninja Turtle children around here.
There will be.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look, there's
No,
a child.
Ryan, where's all your stuff? Your TV's gone. Your DVDs are missing.
Also, your house is way bigger now.
Yeah, your house is huge.
And kind of a special occasion, guys. We are broadcasting live from Rocky Mountain Con here at beautiful downtown Denver. We're at the Crown Plaza Hotel next to DIA. This con is support of Aurora Rise, which, of course, is the fundraiser, the charity that helps families that were affected by the Century 16 theater shooting. And if you're in the neighborhood on November 12th at the Movie Tavern, go and see Master
Bree,
Chief.
watch your back.
Oh, man.
Oh. I
Just randomly walking up.
He was about to be assassinated.
Yeah, I was about to be assassinated by
Xbox One sucks.
a Spartan.
You just wanted to get that Spartan
I
and
did.
punch you in the face.
So
Their guns are cool.
So yeah, they help out. And on November 12th, if you're in Aurora, the Movie Tavern is having a special screening of Thor: The Dark World, which we saw this week. Stay tuned for
did.
that. And you'll also help support Aurora Rise. So,
Always good.
Yeah, November 12th, Aurora Movie Tavern. Go down there, check it out. Thank you, Rocky Mountain Con, for letting us be here. So if you're like, oh, wow, it sounds like they're really popular. There's lots of background noise. No, we're just here at the con and hanging out.
That's right.
And if you're also wondering, too, hey, what do the real nerds do? Every week we go see a new movie. I already mentioned this week we saw Thor: The Dark World. Stay tuned for the review. We do spoil the review, so make sure you see the movie before you listen to our review.
Yeah.
We tell you if you should see it or not. We play the trailer, then we spoil the hell out of the movie. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We also talk about movie news, stuff we've been watching, a comic book. You got a comic book for me this week?
I do.
Awesome. And also box office numbers, what's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD, lots of movie stuff, pop culture stuff. And I always love to start our show with Brad's new favorite segment, Fan Mail.
Fan mail!
Once again, the second week in a row that I've been doing this, there is no mail.
Okay.
So they must be
Hold
saying
on.
something to us.
I've got a little something that we haven't done a really good job of promoting this one just because we were waiting for them to get back to us and they never did. And anyway, long story short, next Saturday in the evening, there is a concert. The Colorado Symphony is doing a concert of all like geek-themed music, and it's sort of I don't know if it's just a fundraiser or a promotion. Obviously, this is one of those things they didn't get us like copy back to tell us exactly what it is. But it's for Denver Comic Con. So if that sounds awesome, which it does, you should go and look that up. Get you some tickets. Go listen to some badass music.
I wonder if it's similar to like that Video Games Live where they play.
Probably.
I think it is,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I know they're going to have like a lot of cosplayers there and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
really make it into an event. It seems like it's going to be really cool.
And since we're also helping out friends, and we really don't have fan mail, we did get some retweets and replies. Tiffany Shepis, who we met at Mile High Horror,
Ooh.
she is she is very pretty.
Yeah,
She's-
very
She
pretty.
did a short for the ABC's Death Part 2 for the 26th director, and it's called M is for Matchmaker, and it's very good. And it also features Felisa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, and also our buddy Jonathan Tiersten supplies the song Love is Strange for the short. So go on there, check it out, and vote for it so they can be included in the ABCs of Death Part 2 as the M for Matchmaker. Check it out. It's really cool. Just have to go
that's
to
a good one.
abcsdeath.com, and you can look it up. And there's a lot of other ones on there. Some of them are cool, but this one's pretty interesting. Tiffany Shepis plays a matchmaker, and she's trying to set this guy up with a date. That's all I'll say. It's a really
Yeah.
short. It's really good.
Very
It
good
is
trailer.
very
I've
good.
seen it.
Yeah, Bree's
Yeah.
seen it. So, Bree, did you vote for it?
I didn't go. I didn't vote for it. I think because I was doing something else, but I will vote for it. It's definitely very, very interesting, and I like the little clip that I saw.
And if you want to download the full copy of Jonathan Tierston's Love is Strange, you can do that now directly on his website, jonathantierston.com.
It's really cool. He told us about that at Mile High Horror Fest.
I think we have an interview with him that we can probably put up.
We do. And he recorded it for like this remake of Plan 9 from Outer Space, sort of, which I've seen trailers for the remake. Not my cup of tea, but this song is awesome.
Yeah.
Like he does a really great job.
And he's good too live. Me and James saw him at Starfest, and he was rocking pretty hard.
Yeah.
And Tiffany Shepis was nice enough to follow us on Twitter. So I love when like actors follow us on Twitter. One of my favorite bragging moments lately is when we saw Delivery at Telluride Horror Show. I wrote a review of it on our website, and the actress in it, Lauren Vale, she took my quote and put it on her website and a link to our website. So
that's cool.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, oh, cool, an actress. she put my quote on her website about how great she was in the movie. So
she was really good. Yeah.
check out Delivery. It's good if it comes to your town. They're in England right now touring. I
Oh,
believe.
really?
Yeah.
Man.
I wonder. I'm curious to know what they think of Devil's Due.
Yeah,
It's coming out
that shitty
in a few
looking
months.
movie
Yeah,
that looks like the same plot.
Same plot, but more money behind it.
Kind
Yeah,
of the same
and
plot, but it's
not as cool, not as stylistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the whole like way that Delivery is made is what makes that movie
Yeah, and the thing that's
so special.
kind of we were talking about this last night in January. I'm pretty sure it's 3 straight weeks of found footage supernatural movies.
Really?
I'm not even joking. I
Yeah.
think the first week is that Devil's Due or whatever. What is it called? Is it called
Devil's Due. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's the Mexican Paranormal Activity marked ones.
Oh, is that
The marked ones. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that the first one that comes out?
Yep. And then there's another one that is I don't remember what it is, but
Stupid. Is
Yeah,
what- why?
it's-
Oh man.
I'm telling you what, it's not going to be Hansel and Gretel. I know that for a
Ah
fact.
man, I want another Hansel and Gretel movie.
Oh, we have I Frankenstein this year, so maybe.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe I Frankenstein. Fingers crossed.
All right,
Fingers crossed for I Frankenstein. Cool. So, thank you everybody who tweeted us, replied to our tweets. Stay tuned, November 29th. We will have Pod's Show Episode 4 debuting at the Oriental Theater. Correct?
26th.
26th.
Yeah.
29th is I think Thanksgiving. What the fuck am I talking
Yeah.
about? 26th. So the week
Cancel
of,
your Thanksgiving plans
yeah.
and come out to see.
The week of Thanksgiving, though, everybody will be in town. If you're in Denver, go to the Oriental Theater and check out our Pod Show Episode 4 called Ghost Trappers.
Yep.
It's really funny. Brad has been showing me some cuts of it. It's turning out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I've seen it so much.
Yeah, Brad doesn't like it anymore because
When you edit a short over like 2 months, like you kind of lose perspective.
Yeah.
and the thing that sucks is this one me and Brad were joking because he's looking at my Hobbit Blu-ray, and we could have an extended cut of this and alternate takes of so many things. So we had to reshoot so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one will be good when it's up on the screen and out
We
of
shot
our
new stuff this
done
morning too.
psyche for a long time.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next part of the show is we talk about movies or TV shows we've been watching.
This order again.
Fuck you, Brad. What order you want to do?
The one that's not the one we usually do. Always.
All right, what do you want to do first?
Yeah, you say it then.
Oh,
You host this show.
Oh, now it's on me.
No,
Let's.
it's not
let's,
on anybody.
Let's knock out those box office and release things.
All right.
All right.
I
Cool.
need the host to announce it because I can't.
Cool. So what I watched this week, guys, is I watched several things.
This is the box office stats.
Damn it.
The number one movie in box office this week is Ender's Game, $28 million. They're saying they don't know if it's a success yet or if it's a failure.
Yeah.
Well, look
Because
at that.
it cost them like $110 million to make.
Yeah. Look at a movie with like that scope.
It's all right. We do a show.
You know
we
they're
talk.
looking for
It's
an
fine.
opening of like 60 million.
Yeah.
But it's
60, 80.
again, it's
100.
sci-fi movies are a tough sell. They've always been a tough sell. Whether it's unless it's Star Wars or Star Trek, and even before they rebooted Star Trek, I know it went through some tough times.
Yeah, yeah.
Ticket sales wise. So
I think that in their mind they were like, "Oh, this is going to launch at fucking Hunger Games numbers," where because that's clearly the audience they're going after. They're trying to make this a tween action movie, but it didn't quite work.
Yeah, I think sometimes when the movies fail, though, I think hopefully they get the budget afterwards to make the movie that the fans want to see.
yeah, and Ender's Game I thought was really good. So I have a feeling that it might make about $70-80 million in the U.S. and it
Yeah.
should make its money back overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they'll probably make another one.
Yeah.
Well, there was news this week that what they're thinking is that they might make like a a TV movie or a TV miniseries as a sequel, which is the only world in which I would believe that a sequel to this movie would be Speaker for the Dead. If they did it on TV, then they could do that. But
Not
that's
network TV, though.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want it
No,
on network
no,
TV.
no.
Please don't put it on network TV.
No.
Oh, the CW. They would totally put that shit on the CW and just be like, oh, yeah, here's just some kids, and they kind of love each other, and, oh, the world is so hard sometimes, but we get through. Oh, man. I don't want that show on CW. But we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, I'd like to see another movie of it. I thought it was good. And so let's see what Amazon has for us
All right.
via digital bits.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Man of Steel is the big one.
Yeah, I already pre-ordered mine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, do you know if you go to Target, you can get a different version of Man of Steel with features that are unavailable anywhere else?
Did you know that
Are
if
you
go
kidding?
No, I'm not kidding.
to
Really?
Walmart,
Yeah.
you can also
Oh,
get a
man.
different version of it?
Are they really doing that again?
Well, that different version is a Steelbook. So I just wanted to
Oh,
announce
okay.
that
All right.
if you're looking for a Steelbook of Man of Steel, which is the most appropriate DVD combination I can think of, go to Walmart. I'll be going.
What's the special feature that they have at Target that they don't have anywhere
it
else?
is like X-ray or something. I forget what it was.
X-ray vision version.
Yeah.
See right through your TV.
Everybody's
No,
naked.
it's like 4 featurettes. I don't know. I did
Huh.
that I got Amazing Spider-Man at Target.
Yeah.
Because it came with an extra disc, and it was like 20 minutes of. I really enjoy working with Emma Stone.
It's just the EPKs all
Yeah,
taped together.
all bandaged
Yeah.
together. So.
Yeah. That's no
so
fun.
Man of Steel.
There's like 2 ridiculous collector's sets as
Yeah.
well. There's one that comes with like 2 figurines, like a Zod and a Superman, and then there's one that's shaped like the Superman logo. It's just crazy. Anyway,
Dude, Logan is at every convention we do.
I know, right? Keith. Hi, Keith. I already said hi to him. I'm just gonna stare awkwardly
You know,
at him.
his costume's really cool, except his shoes. His shoes should be boots.
It's because he's got to go to work in a little while.
Oh.
He's not actually here. Yeah. So like just this morning, he was like, I'll throw on the coat and the gloves and go as Wolverine. But it was a last.
Is he
minute thing.
haunted by his past? Well, he can't because
maybe.
he already is wearing his
Maybe.
dog tags, so he knows who he
That's
is
true.
now.
That's true. Yeah.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
We're just commenting that Logan was here.
Yeah. Oh man, I like that belt buckle. Is that your belt buckle or is that Logan's belt buckle?
That's racist.
That's pretty good.
No, that's Apache Chief.
Yes. Oh my God.
He's wearing a redskin belt buckle. I am offended beyond belief.
That's pretty good.
Apache Chief.
He is
Oh,
a
man.
Canuck wearing a redskin belt buckle. What's wrong with the world? Yeah, hey, that's true. So it's okay if a Canadian does it. Good seeing you.
Keith. All right. So, also this week, Turbo comes out. You know that movie about the snail that nobody saw. The Blu-ray for the last season of Dexter, as well as
Awesome.
the whole collection of the
Oh,
series.
dude, I'm there.
That I can sense your snark, sir. The Blu-ray collection is actually really cool. It's,
looks
it's
cool,
a,
yeah.
It's a blood slide container, so it opens up from the top, and it's all the discs inside. Which, if you've seen the show, you know why that's awesome. There is also a Criterion edition of City Lights, which is kind of cool. I might actually pick that up just to see an old black and white. I believe Charlie Chaplin.
It is Charlie
Yeah,
Chaplin.
Yeah.
Have you watched it? He's really good in his movies.
Oh, yeah,
I've
no.
watched. I love The Great Dictator.
Yeah.
I think it's his first talking movie too, and he's fantastic
It
in
is.
it.
Yeah. I Declare War gets its Blu-ray release,
Yeah,
which
all
I might
right.
have to run over to the Alamo and pick that up.
Yeah.
There's also a David Chase's movie from this year, Not Fade Away, comes out this week. And there's a Blu-ray release of Akira for all the fans of Akira.
Tetsuo.
I really fucking hate Akira. I've never liked that movie.
I've never seen it.
It's like the last 20 minutes is just that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
all right.
finally,
I can't wait for Keanu Reeves to be Akira, though.
there's a DVD release of the German horror film Grabbers, which we
Yeah.
did not get to see at Telluride Horror Show last year because we were interviewing the people from the Battery.
It
But
was
they
at the
had
Sea
it.
Film Center.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see it?
No.
Oh, okay. I've heard ridiculous things about it. So
Yeah,
if
well,
you
remember
if you
at-
want like a silly, campy horror film, go
At
get
Telluride,
Grabbers.
it was their drink a beer and yell back at the screen. showing
yeah. It was a
movie.
get drunk and watch this movie.
Yeah, so
Yeah. The premise was that drinking alcohol keeps the monsters from eating you because they don't want to get intoxicated.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting premise.
Yeah.
It is.
And especially if it's a movie that gets better when you're drunk while you watch it, it is perfect. So, anyway, that's DVDs this week.
Cool. Hey, what's happening in the movie world?
Are we going to do news next? Wait, let's check with Brad.
Oh,
and
yeah,
see if he
Brad's
wants us
running
to
the
do-
show now.
How do you feel about doing news next, Brad?
Give me a second.
Okay.
Yes, I approve of this.
All right.
Okay, Brad approves this message.
It's real news.
Some big stuff happened this week. Not necessarily surprising, but it's still big. Blockbuster shut down.
Oh, man. The one
Um,
Blockbuster in Colorado is right by my house.
I know.
I loved going to that
It's
store.
actually like really
Did you
busy.
ever go to Blockbuster, Spree?
Oh man, I had a bad experience with Blockbusters. Every time my brother used to rent games, I would always get stuck with the late fee. So I go in there, pick up a game, and they'd be like, "Oh, you got to pay this late fee." So but I used to go there a lot though.
So you really just had a problem with your brother. Yeah. That's what you're really saying.
My brother in Blockbuster.
Yeah. I used to work at a Blockbuster. It was my first job, and I loved that place. Like I would not be the film person that I am now if not for working there, and like having that community of people who would like the first week or so that I got there was this guy named Jeff. And he was just
Fuck
like,
Jeff.
I'm just going to tell you, every week I'm going to tell you a movie from the wall that you should see. And the first one he told me was The Machinist. And from then on, like any movie he
Really?
told me I should see, I watched it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so it's how I saw like Roger Dodger and The Machinist and stuff like that I never would have found without a store like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm writing an article for our website that I meant to put up on Halloween, but it's taken me so fucking long.
It's ridiculous.
It's a 101 of my favorite horror films. And I remember when Blockbuster, during its heyday, I don't know if you remember this, but they used to get like the straight to DVD or at my time video cassettes of horror movies, and me and my friend Brandon would just go up and down the aisles and we'd say, "Oh, this cover looks cool."
Yeah.
And we'd rent them, and most of them were dog shit. But like, I miss that. Like just going in there, and you're hoping that behind the the video cassette art is the cassette tape and the Blockbuster logoed clamshell, and
Yeah.
One of the things I used to love about Blockbuster, especially in the 90s, is they still had cassettes from movies from the 70s and 80s.
yeah.
Now you go just before they're about to die, it's mostly just many copies of the most recent studio stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
not as fun to discover things.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. I read the press release by the CEO of Dish, who owns Blockbuster now, and he said, "Our customers have spoken. They don't want to come and rent movies anymore. They only want to digitally stream them." So Blockbuster, the brand isn't going away. It's
Yeah.
going to be like Netflix.
Streaming
Yeah,
only,
well, because Dish Network still owns Netflix, and yeah, that brand is not going to go away anytime soon. But it's such a crazy thing because you go back to like the early 2000s, and what a friggin' powerhouse that thing
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Like
Well, remember, they used to-
people used to like straight up hate Blockbuster because it was going into towns and shutting down all the like local video
Yeah,
stores.
they're the Walmart. But they also used
Yeah.
to have exclusive deals with studios where they would get, I don't know, the Green Mile before anybody else,
Yeah.
and they paid like $200 for those cassettes.
Yeah.
And if you lost them, because I lost Species one time, it was $125.
Whoa.
Really,
Yeah.
man,
Wow.
you didn't lose Species, you kept that.
I did, and I
You're
still
like,
have
"Oh,
it with
Natasha
my
Henstridge."
my video cassette player. Actually, it's Alfred Molina for me. So
Oh, I forgot Alfred Molina's in that. Oh man!
But here's the
Clearly I need to-
bright spot of this all. I think we should take over that close it down Blockbuster and create the Real Nerds video store.
Yes.
Real Nerds Video
And you
with
can-
all the obscure, crazy stuff that you should watch,
That's not bad.
and
That's not
episodes of Real Nerds Pod Show.
Yeah.
and a recording
Please rent
studio.
them for free.
We'd be shut down in a month.
Yep. Don't forget the cowboy doors.
Yeah,
Cowboy doors.
huge porn section. Huge.
Oh man, it's just crazy. I clearly should have bought Netflix and Redbox stock at the beginning of the week because Blockbuster shuts down, and then 2 days later they announced that Marvel is going to make 4 series and a mini series on Netflix, which is going to be Daredevil and
Awesome.
Iron Fist and
Luke Cage.
Luke
Yeah.
Cage, and then that lady I've never heard of. Do you know who this person is? Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. Yeah, she's badass.
Who is Jessica Jones?
She is a superhero investigator.
Ooh.
And she has superhuman powers, but she doesn't let anybody know.
Yeah.
And it's based on Brian Michael Bendis loves her, and his comic Max on the Marvel Max line called Alias stars Jessica Jones as a
really?
detective.
That's what Alias is
yeah,
about?
yeah. It stars a detective in the Marvel universe. She's pretty badass.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
There's a great. Bendis wrote a thing called The Pulse, and in it, she is threatened by the Green Goblin, and Luke Cage almost kills the Green Goblin in it because of it. So it's pretty fun.
That sounds pretty good.
So I bet you like
Jones is a
Netflix
cool
now,
character.
huh? I bet you like Netflix now, huh?
No, I don't.
No?
I still don't watch it very much.
Not even with Marvel shows on it?
You'll watch
I'll watch it for the Marvel stuff. I mean, I watched it obviously for Arrested Development.
Yeah. So now the
It's
question,
$7 a week.
Now the question is whether or not they're going to cast what was his name, Isaiah Mustafar as Luke Cage. Remember him? He was the guy.
Yeah.
He was like the original. Well, not the original, but that guy that really made the Old Spice commercials popular. He was that like big, buff-looking black guy.
Right.
It was just hilarious. Oh man, he was so good.
Yeah,
And
he did not make it popular. You know, Bruce Campbell started in the first one of those.
I know. You heard me correct myself. Bruce Campbell was the first like crazy, wacky Old Spice commercial.
Do you remember that one, Bree?
I haven't seen that.
Bruce Campbell was
I've
walking
won.
in the background, and the background was just like, or was he sitting down and the background was moving behind him? It was
Yeah,
it was really bizarre. He's
I think
talking
he's
the
sitting
only-
because then in the next one, that's when he's playing piano and all the
Yeah.
women are around him, and he's like, "Ahoy!"
Yeah, it's that first one though, where there's a fireplace and it's spinning in the background.
yes.
Where he says, "You're only a man if you wear Old Spice," and since I'm such a man, it's something like that where he talks about how manly he is.
Yeah,
It's really good.
it is, man. Actually, speaking of Bruce Campbell, let's just skip ahead to the sad news, which is that in an interview this week, Bruce Campbell pretty much said that right now, Army of Darkness is not a reality. That he and Sam Raimi have
Oh,
said
Army of
something-
Darkness is real. It's a
Army of
sequel
Darkness
that's
2. Yeah, sorry. Army of Darkness 2 is
the
not
illusion.
real yet.
Not
I
yet,
think,
but
yeah,
but when you read his quote, like
Right.
the
That's where I'm
headline
going.
of the article is really misleading.
Yes, it is.
Because he said until the studio greenlights it, then it's just a rumor.
right.
But I have we'll put up an interview we did with Timothy Quill at Mile High Horror really soon, and in the Mile High Horror, Timothy Quill is the blacksmith from Army of Darkness, where he goes, "I'll stand by ya," and and he told us that the script is almost done, and he's read it, and it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I mean, they are working on the movie.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that, the internet took this and ran with it and was like, there's going to be a release date announced next week. That's not true. I've been watching some of the special features on the Hobbit Extended Edition, and even that movie, right up to the line, was not greenlit. And until it's greenlit, it's not real.
Well, I
And
mean,
that's sort of
yeah.
more what he's saying, is that, look, we don't have a studio that signed on for this. There is no guarantee this movie ever actually gets made. Just because we all sit around in our closets and are like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if Ash came back and this happened? Yeah, we all want that, but it's not real yet.
And the article doesn't mention too that Sam Raimi is not really taking any jobs right now because he's trying to get this made.
Yeah. He's,
Mr. Quill pulled me aside before he sat down and he was telling me all about it. And he didn't say anything on our show, so I'm not going to say exactly what he said to me.
Yeah.
But they've pretty much finished the script, and now it's just Sam's waiting to make it.
Yeah, he's got to find...
Because he's taking a break. I mean, you have to remember, too, Sam Raimi went from 10 years making Spider-Mans, went into Drag Me to Hell, which is a great story on our interview,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
Oz.
he did Oz. And so
Yeah.
I think he's kind of taking it back. And I think he's going to go back to Army of Darkness, a little smaller budget, and having a little more fun.
Oh, for sure, which will be really cool.
What a cool picture of Bruce. You know what that's from? That's from the Evil Dead 2 25th Anniversary Edition.
You're ridiculous. Oh, man. We also got a release date for Star Wars this week. It's December 18th, 2015, which, like we talked about last week, that movie is gonna, they don't want that movie to not drop in 2015, but sure enough, they pushed it back. And I still expect that when we get closer, they're going to push it back to that next summer, too. I can't see them actually keeping that release date.
Really?
But
I think they can do it.
I think they can
They're going to
do
start
it.
filming in the spring, so then you have a year to make the special effects. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah. And Christmas is probably a really good release time for that.
It'll make shitloads of money.
2015, it'd basically have the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings slot for that year, which is not a bad time.
No,
slot
I was
to have.
reading too. One of the reasons why I was reading an article on Variety, and they said they think they did that because if you release it in December, then you have January and February to play throughout, and
Yeah.
so you're just milking.
when
money.
everybody else is dumping their garbage.
Yep. It'll
you
just
can
continue
you can
to
still
play.
be the number one movie.
I think it's being pushed back because they're probably planning on releasing the Millennium Falcon as a town car. So
I'd buy it.
Oh, dude.
Bree's going to be there on, I don't know, whatever dealership's first day. Like, sign me up.
like the Tesla.
We can't approve this loan. You approve this loan.
If it were Tesla, that'd be pretty good. I missed one little bit of news actually with the Marvel thing that there is ABC is going to get a second show too, but we don't know what that's going to be yet. Also, they announced this week, you guys will love this, that Saw 8 is going to come out. They're going to go back to making more Saw movies.
Cool.
Do you? I haven't even seen beyond the second one. So is there anything in those movies worth?
I think the
returning to?
sixth one's really good.
Yeah.
The sixth one kind of makes 4 and 5 watchable because they tie up the loose ends with. I still think John Kramer is a really interesting character.
That's the Jigsaw guy, right?
Jigsaw, yeah. And watching, actually, Laura put in Saw 3 a couple of weeks ago, and watching Saw 3 is still really good too. Where you think it's going one way, and then at the end, he kind of tells that Amanda girl that the game was actually for her. It wasn't for these people that you thought were in the game, because she was just killing people, and he always had a reason why.
Yeah.
And I think Saw 6 actually has my favorite trap in it is when they're on this merry-go-round, I guess you'd call it, and there's a shotgun, and if it stops on you, you get your head blown off, and it's really like suspenseful and intense, and I thought it was really well done, and gory as fuck.
I watched 7 last night.
Yeah,
No.
actually, 7's not bad either.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep before I got to the end, but it was cool how they made Cary Elwes the new Jigsaw guy. Which
Oh, is that what happens?
surprise.
Cool. I guess.
So although I don't remember the end, so I don't know if he got his in the end.
No, that's what happens. Remember what's the cop's name? Hoffman.
Hoffman, yeah.
Hoffman kills Jigsaw's wife.
Danny Glover.
And then he thinks he's getting away, and then Cary Elwes kills Hoffman.
Yeah, so I think Cary Elwes could make like a good John Kramer.
Well, I'll take it. I love Cary Elwes.
As another guy who's changed by Jigsaw's.
Yeah, because that
plan.
one, it starts with the Jigsaw support group, or people who have survived his traps.
Yeah, and Sean Patrick Flannery's like
that's-
exploiting
Yeah,
all the
it's actually-
victims.
Patrick Flannery's in it now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually a pretty cool movie. It's
Yeah.
pretty well done.
They got to bring back Danny Glover. I want more Danny Glover.
He's dead.
I don't care. They'll find a
Didn't he
way.
fall and shoot his head off?
Yeah. He gets shot in the first movie by like the shotgun in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was his partner. Gets shot by a shotgun.
Oh,
he
is it?
like looks up and like bam.
Oh, that's right. What happens to him in the
I
movie?
He gets his throat cut and then.
Oh, that's right. That's
but
right.
he comes
See, he didn't
back
get
with
that
the
sewed
scar, and then I forget. I think he's struggling with Michael.
Do you remember how
I've
Danny
never
Glover?
seen any of the
What's
Saw
that guy?
movies.
The guy who did the Joker voice. He's from Lost.
Oh, Michael Emerson?
Michael Emerson. Yeah, he's struggling with him, and I think he just gets like shot
Oh.
in the chest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just gets shot in the heart.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um,
I
Oh,
remember
dude,
it's-
Danny Glover didn't need a heart. He's got like 3 of them.
2 days to retirement.
Too old
I'm
for
too
this
old
shit.
for this shit.
Sorry, I was gonna say. Damn it, totally sidetracked me.
What do you want from a Saw 8 movie?
Oh yeah, I was just saying, Cary Elwes could just be another.
Oh, yeah.
What I was gonna say is watching the final chapter not in 3D for the first time. It was interesting
Yeah.
because I didn't notice any of the like nothing they were doing ever tipped me off to like it was engineered for 3D. Like there's stuff pointing at the screen, but the way it's flat, it didn't register to me as 3D. So it just says how unnecessary the 3D
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
was.
And I have
'Cause
the
the first-
DVD too, and its transfer is horrible.
Is
Like,
it?
It's really cloudy and grainy. And
Oh, that was all right. You just have the DVD?
I
Yeah,
have
he
the
has.
DVD.
He just
Yeah, me
has the
too.
DVD.
Did you notice? Maybe it's just me.
It might have been just you. Yeah, looked fine on my screen. Anywho,
Huh.
that's not news.
Very last tiny piece of news, and I just want to say this because I think it's awesome that The Rock is going to shoot a movie where he fights demons, and the title of the movie is going to be SEAL Team 666,
Hell yeah.
which is just so dumb.
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
will watch the shit out of that movie.
Because The Rock is awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
What's
news
all
for
this
this
stuff
week.
about Cameron Diaz VO and A Dame to Die For and Justin
Oh, those
Lin?
are notes for that's other stuff. So we also got an Old Boy trailer this week. Who cares? I don't think it looks very good. Cameron Diaz did VO for The Counselor, so that's why part of why her performance is not good, and part of why that movie isn't as good as it could be. What was the other?
And the fact that she's Cameron Diaz. Anybody remember the mask?
I said it in my little review that she is the reason that movie. She is a crutch of that movie and cannot pull it off.
The mask would be so much better if the rest of the actors were as good as Jim Carrey in it. Hey, Ipkiss, freeze. I know I didn't want to yell into it. all right, unfreeze.
You are actually, yeah, you're right. Man,
Yeah.
I just always thought that movie wasn't actually that good. But, yeah.
Yeah, everyone else sucks besides
Everything
Jim
else in that
Carrey.
movie really sucks. Oh, huh.
I mean, I love the part where he's catcalling in the nightclub and he's acting like a Looney Tune. Love it.
Interesting.
Anyways, that's news.
yeah.
This is stuff we've been watching. Fuck you, Brad.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Fuck me. There's nothing else to talk about.
We could do comics.
We
We
could
could
do
do the
comics.
review.
Oh yeah, I
We could
forgot
just
about
end the
comics.
show
Do
right
comics.
No, fuck you. I already said we're doing movies.
Okay, I'll let this one slide. You can talk about movies. We're only at a comic book convention.
You know, I've been
That was a
writing
good try,
101 of my favorite horror movies, and I thought it's really hypocritical of me that I've never seen some of the classics. So this,
How many of these classics are there? He's been talking about these classics
I know,
for like
there's
3
lots.
weeks.
Horror movie classic is
I'm
kind
talking
of
Universal. I'm talking Universal Monsters.
Yeah, Universal Monsters, yeah.
So this week I got The Invisible Man, starring Claude Rains, which is a awesome movie. It starts really mysteriously. Claude Rains is walking through snow-blown England, and he shows up at this this inn that has a room, and he asks for the room, and he's all bandaged up, so he's already invisible.
Yeah.
And he starts going mad because
Wait. He's invisible?
he is.
Oh, man. I never would have guessed.
So he starts going mad because the side effect of this drug that he made in his invisible formula, part of the side effect is you go crazy when you take it. But it was never tested on humans. They tested on dogs first, and the dogs went crazy, but no one told Claude Rains' character, who I forget his name in it.
So there's a bunch of invisible dogs running around.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if it were. But anyways, so the special effects, it's shot in 33, are actually pretty impressive. There's parts where he takes the bandages off his head and there's nothing there. And I watched, there's a documentary on it, how they did it, and they put him in all black velvet, and they shot him against a screen, and then they superimposed another layer of film over it.
Smart.
So it's pretty cool. And in the movie, he kills, I don't know, 200 people in it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he has no remorse. He goes crazy. There's this one guy who's his colleague, and he tries to save him. And it's actually my favorite moment in the whole movie because, he's all bandaged up, and this guy's trying to help him so he doesn't kill any more people. And he takes him out on a drive, and the Invisible Man, punches him. And then he says, "I hope you enjoy your trip down the side of this mountain." And he, floors his car, and the guy's car goes flying off, and it blows up. And it's really cool. And you don't expect him to be that violent.
Yeah.
And he's pretty terrifying. Claude Rains is really good in the movie. He's crazy, and he commands the screen, and not, you think of Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, which is just the remake of it, but it's really good. If you haven't seen The Invisible Man,
Kevin Bacon and an appearance by Rona Mitra, who we have a poster of around
that's
here
right.
somewhere.
yeah, she's naked in it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
That
see
movie's-
Hollow Man again.
No, that movie's so bad.
No, I'm going to see it because Rona Mitra is naked in it. I'm doing it. You heard it here first on Real Nerds Podcast.
Oh, good.
And then the last one I needed to see was The Mummy, the original Mummy starring Boris Karloff,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Wait. Let me hear you say that Boris Karloff is a cocksucker.
Boris Karloff is a cocksucker?
It's an Ed Wood joke.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. From Bela Lugosi.
And it's really well done, too. It's maybe the weakest, I think, of the Universal monster movies. Not that it's a bad movie. It's actually still pretty good. But it follows basically the remake of it, where he plays a mummy called Imhotep, and his sarcophagus has the scratches on the side because he was buried alive. But it does play that his father's the one who sentenced him to death in this one, because he desecrated a virgin.
Oh, no.
And the mummy's really not in it, though. And back then, I don't know if you guys know this, you weren't allowed to show somebody come out of a coffin.
Really?
In Dracula, if you watch Dracula, you always just see his hand come out, and then the next shot, Dracula's out of the coffin.
Where does that rule come from?
I don't know. I guess it's because it's sacrilegious, because Jesus came from the grave.
Oh,
so
interesting. So if you made a movie about Jesus, could he come out of a coffin?
And he
If it
came
were
out
like
of
a-
a coffin, you just push a boulder aside and walk out?
Well, yeah, but if you made a modern version where it was like Jesus, but it was the 20s.
Maybe.
It was,
Maybe.
roaring 20s Jesus.
And he's all doing the Charleston and stuff and dancing.
Yeah. He pops out of the coffin and starts doing the Charleston.
But yeah, so the
Buy
mummy
war bonds.
makeup is really, really...
He didn't hear what I said.
Brad said, buy war bonds. Oh, sorry.
So the beginning's really cool because they found Imhotep's sarcophagus, and he's in there, and there's a part where they take this ancient scroll and they read from it, and he starts becoming reanimated, and there's this great shot of him like slowly like waking up, and then it cuts to him stealing the scroll. It sucks because you never see, and that's all you see of the mummy, and the makeup's fantastic, but it's a bummer.
Shoot.
But it's suspenseful. It's really well made. The director was a German cinematographer named Ken Freund or something like that, and he was one of the pioneers of the moving camera and Steadicam. So in the movie, there's lots of tracking shots, and there's an awesome shot of Imhotep is in the museum and he's chanting, trying to bring his priestess back to life, and the camera starts on one end and follows all the way around and comes behind him, and it's really cool. Because that movie was 33?
Wow.
And it's also the only Universal original monster. The rest of them came from
books.
From books, besides, obviously, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, eventually.
Yeah.
But Creature was 56, I believe.
Yeah.
So. And the last thing I watched was Monsters University.
I did too.
And it's pretty damn cute. The little slug at the beginning where he's trying to get to class is really funny. Actually, my favorite delivery of a line in that is when Sully and Mike meet for the first time, and he has that little pig, and Mike's like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And he's like, "I stole it." it's like just really funny, and it's really well done. And little kid Mike is the cutest little thing
he's
ever.
So adorable.
As
soon as he gets off the bus, I was just freaking out.
And I will say this because I've been watching all the Pixar's lately on Blu-ray. That movie is maybe one of the best looking movies I have ever seen.
Oh yeah.
And you just see from the first Toy Story, which is still a good-looking movie, but the amount of detail in Monsters University, like from the cobblestones and the brick and Sully's fur, is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those guys are the best artists in the industry, hands down.
And it even goes down to like part of why Toy Story still looks so good is that they knew what their limitations were and just avoided those things. So like, there's never water or liquids in that movie, and now like. They just don't have to worry about that stuff because they can just do apparently anything. Did you watch the short that was with it?
No.
Oh, I rented it and showed it to my folks because they didn't get a chance to see it. And when we were done, I was like, "Oh man, wait! I got to show you
the umbrella thing,
the blue umbrella."
Oh yeah.
Because the story itself is not as good as some of their other shorts, but it's the most gorgeous animated thing I've ever seen. Like as soon as it was over, I looked at my folks and went, "Nothing you just saw was real," and they were like, "What?" Like it's ridiculous.
So Monsters University is a really cute movie, and again, it's just Pixar being Pixar. I know it got a lot of flack because they said it wasn't as original or as much heart, but actually it has quite a bit of heart to it because and it's learning your place in the world. Mike he's not scary, and Sully's getting by on his family's good name, and there's that great scene where Sully opens his heart to Mike, and it's fantastic. And Nathan Fillion is a bad guy.
Yeah, I like how the end isn't just like them trying to win that competition. Like there's a twist.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed by that because I thought the movie was over. I was like, really, you're going to end it like that? And nope, there's total other side to this. So that was good.
I actually think the message too is good that you have to work hard for something maybe that you want.
Well, and it even goes further than that. Like I was talking to my folks afterwards, and I was like, look, any movie in any animation studio will do a movie where you've got to work hard to get what you want, or sometimes you fail or things like that, and all those lessons are all very universal and we've heard before. But this movie, and slight spoilers for Monsters University, but sorry, Brie, but this is a movie where at the end of this movie, he doesn't get what he wants.
No.
Like, at a certain point, he has to accept the fact that some people are just not born with even the ability, no matter how hard they try, to get their dreams. And that is, especially for a kid's movie, so amazing. Like, nobody but Pixar tells stories like that. Nobody has the balls to tell a story like that.
I agree.
It's insane.
And there's just, again, it's so beautiful. Even when they're in the library, and I'm just looking at like the detail on all the books, and then the huge librarian, and it just looks so good.
Oh, she's creepy. That librarian's really creepy.
Yeah, and I did have some laugh out loud moments where, like, the Pinkies, they're like, "Hey, Pinkies, girls looking good," and they turn like really monstrous. Hey, looking great. It's stupid stuff like that. I love those movies.
Yeah.
So again, I never saw it. I bought it on a chance that it'd be good, and it's really good.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw this week.
Cool.
Ray, what'd you see this week?
Apollo 18.
Oh,
Apollo
yeah?
18?
Yeah.
How is that?
It was all right. I mean, it's kind of that shaky space found footage, so you see a lot of moon rocks and stuff in it. But but I thought it was pretty good. It had a twist that I didn't expect, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's definitely worth going out there and checking out.
Huh.
Other than that, I've been reading more than watching.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I'm reading. I think it's the new H.P. Lovecraft or something. It's some compiled book with Cthulhu and some other books in there, different horror writers and stuff.
He's an unusual writer.
Yeah, and also Zombies. The it says the greatest collection of zombie stories ever. I picked that up from the library. Reading the comic book Saga.
It's great one.
And a couple of I picked up some Batman comics that have like 3D covers. There's one I have with 3D cover of Harley Quinn and some other ones.
Those ones are hard to find.
Yeah.
They're selling them for like $30 over here.
What's the crazy thing though is I actually got these from the library. So I'm just like, and I went back and the library that I'm close by, they switched the way they've their arrangement of the comic books, but I'm always like, I don't know, I always get kind of upset because I'm like, you guys should take better care of these comics, and I always try to check them out, but I have them all in a nice little stack, but sometimes when I go in the library, they're disorganized. But I've been surprised at the amount of comics that I've seen at libraries now. I mean, the hard, even the big, thick, complete editions of The Walking Dead.
Wow.
Stuff like, I also picked up Brian King's The Last Zombie. I'm going to read that, and a big, huge book called Anomaly. It's some space story. I haven't checked it out yet, but the book is probably like that thick. You guys can't see my hands out there, but I got thickness in my hands right now.
They're like 8 inches. 8 inches thick. That's
Very
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I found
I
out
should
George
read.
Jonti did the interiors for the Joker's Daughter one.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Which looks really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's right over there.
it is. I'm going to have to go get it.
Really? Where?
Well, they have the lithograph
booth on
one
the
is
corner.
$30 at All Seas, and Brad found a $10 regular edition one. Someone must have been really under ordered or something.
Huh. Wow. Cool. Brad, what'd you watch this week?
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's unscrolling. It's like
He's
the Dead
got-
Sea
oh my
Scrolls.
God, it's so-
Yeah,
actually wrote it down.
I was sitting in my room working on computer stuff, and so I just had a lot of movies going on in the background. So I watched Gremlins 2. After last
Cool.
week, I watched Gremlins 1.
Because
Gremlins
after
2.
we talked about it,
Huh?
after we talked about it, to inspire you to go watch it.
No, it was Halloween week for DVDs at Best Buy, and it was there for $5.
Is the
so.
actual subtitle of that the new batch, or is
Yeah.
that just something they put on the
It's,
posters?
it's the new batch, yeah. I think it's even in the trailer on the disc. Yeah, it's not as good as it's almost like when they made the movie. The vibe I get is that they felt like, didn't you people realize how silly the concept was in the first one? And now we're making it's like it's set in New York City in this one building that it's like a building mall. So there's all kinds of crazy shops, and there's even a science lab that Christopher Lee runs, and
that's right.
and he has all these crazy potions that the gremlins drink, and then it turns them into like weird variations. Like one turns into like a gargoyle. There's probably the most weird and offensive one is there's a potion that turns one of the gremlins into a Jessica Rabbit style female, and the Jessica Rabbit style female gremlin all he wants to do is try and fuck Robert Picardo.
That's right.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, is it like animated or is it an animatronic?
It's
Like,
It's an
animatronic.
animatronic, yeah. Which
The
puppet-
spider one's amazing.
Yeah, the spider ones. All the animatronics are fantastic, just like in the first one. It's just like the concept of the whole movie. Like Zach Galligan, he gets a job working for this, John Glover. Do you know who that guy is?
no. I mean, I probably
He's,
do, but the name doesn't sound familiar.
The thing I know him most from is from Smallville, where he played Lex Luthor's dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the owner of this building, and like historically, I remember him as being like kind kind of like a shark businessman, but he's actually kind of an idiot businessman where he's like optimistic, and it's only the people around him who are the dicks in his company.
Yeah.
So he's constantly like, oh, it would be great if we had this idea, and Zach Galligan like wants to be like an artist, so he's constantly making like really nice, down to earth like architectural plans, but his company's making him do like really garish, late 80s polished like corporate structures and stuff, but no one is like feeding his boss that information,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of stuff he's looking for, is like that down to earth thing. So I started to do that. The old Chinese man's pet shop he dies, and that guy's company tries to buy out the block or whatever. So that's how he gets Gizmo again, and then obviously right away like crazy stuff ensues. But it's just like there's tons of like cameos from like famous people, like Leonard Maltin's in it. He's in the movie doing a review for Gremlins 1. A movie that isn't supposed to exist in their universe.
Well,
yeah.
it almost sounds like they wanted to make a Muppet movie out of
Gremlins.
Yes,
like their Gremlin
that's
characters.
That's a good comparison, yeah. So,
Wow.
I mean, it has its moments, but it's just like so over the top ridiculous that it's clearly a spoof of itself.
Now we got to finish up the year so I can check this out, because that's ridiculous.
And then I have a huge list, so I'm just trying to run through these really quickly. I finally checked out Kevin Smith Movie Club movies.
Oh yeah.
Bindle Stiffs and Alter Egos.
Cool.
Bindle Stiffs is pretty funny. Obviously, it's not shot very well, but it's just these three kids who their school is telling them to is trying to get rid of all the copies of Catcher in the Rye, and then one of the kids doesn't agree with that, so he rebels and does something. They all get suspended, and so the rest of the movie they try to find stuff to do during their suspension, and it just involves all the most shocking stuff that kids could think of.
Yeah.
Which one bangs a hobo. Another kid gets involved in drugs, and they're all really funny, but it's just the story just consists of how can we top this shocking thing. So I guess it was all right. And then the other movie I saw, Alter Egos.
That's a superhero one, right?
It was a superhero one which it had a really cool concept about it's been done before. They live in this world a Watchmen world where superheroes are run by the government, and they're going to cut their funding because they basically have gotten rid of most of the villains. So in order to keep their funding, they have this plan to orchestrate creating a new villain, so they have people to fight. But the main character, Frost, or the Fridge, he has ice powers. He's so kind of unlikable that's what makes the movie not interesting to me.
Huh.
But it had a cool twist at the end. And then I watched 4 James Bond movies.
Okay.
Moonraker, Octopussy, For Your Eyes Only, and Live and Let Die. And
I like Moonraker.
Is Live and Let Die, is that the
this is the voodoo one.
Timothy Dalton one?
No. These are all Roger Moore ones.
What's the Timothy Dalton one that's like that?
The Living Daylights?
Living Daylights, that's what it
and
is. That's Roger Moore.
Yeah, that's the one that starts with him on climbing up that rock face.
And they're all just completely just ridiculous. At every chance, it's almost like an Austin Powers movie. They're so James Bond will get off of a flight and then just pick up the next chick he sees and then bangs her, and not integral to the story at all.
Yeah.
And then in Octopussy, one weird thing is the character's name, she's Octopussy.
Octopussy.
I almost said Sean Connery. Her backstory, she's explained why that's her name, and it's
they don't need to explain it,
but they do, and it's because her dad was he worked with poisonous octopuses, and she says my dad used to call me his little Octopussy. I'm like, what kind of dad calls his daughter Octopussy? That's fucked up. I guess not in 1970 or. Yeah, I think it's 78 or 81.
Even though
no, it's the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, they named the movie that because they knew that was going to be,
Yeah.
Could you name any movie
Risque-ish.
with pussy in it these days?
They could
Probably
make a
not.
new one with Octomom and have her as Octopussy.
Hot Bill and Octomom.
She can
Giant
fill
pussy.
8 dicks into her
Yeah.
pussy.
Oh god.
Octomom.
God.
Kids approaching.
No, that's
Kids
not-
approaching. Kids approaching. We're in public. I forgot.
Yeah.
We're not at home.
Uh-oh. Dude, I love, look at the Incredibles.
He's so
Yeah.
adorable.
But yeah, Moonraker is
Yeah.
probably the most absurd one. And then they're all overly long. I think most of them are like 2 hours long.
I feel like the Roger Moore years, like they hardly had to even work on those scripts. Like they basically came up with a quick idea and just like came up with some places where they can shoot some action scenes.
Yeah.
and
I would
then
like
just
to
tape 'em
explain
together.
each of the plots of these movies for you, but they all just kind of blended together because they're all the same thing. Where I was like, I don't know why James Bond is going anywhere to get to the end.
Good.
Like it just seems like there's just like cliche stuff happening. He's doing a gadget, he's doing a girl, and eventually we arrive to the end, and like there's a villain.
I'm genuinely really glad that you say that because I've never been good at keeping track of those movies. Like I've always felt like not a very good movie person because like I can't tell you the difference between all the different James Bond movies because they all run together in my head.
Like I don't know
I mean,
what
except for, like,
the
Dr.
master
No.
plan most of the time. Like I know what the end game is, but I never understand like James Bond's detective style, like how he gets to things. It just seems like they arbitrarily, like he just kind of gets to each.
He like trips and
Well,
falls into him. Like
Yeah,
He always had some kind of gadget, though. You know, he
Yeah.
pulls this thing out and then he accomplishes his mission. So, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, these things are connected over and over again. It's
Yeah.
just like like the newer ones with Daniel Craig and
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan. I followed this plots, but the old ones, there's just so much like globetrotting and like here's this elegant thing, and then here's this random chick he's gonna hook up with.
nice.
Which
That's how James Bond
Yeah.
rolls.
Oh, yeah.
With fucking.
Octa STD.
so
And I'm all
How
paranoid
do
that
you-
there's a little Incredible kid running around.
Yeah.
What was the name of that little fast boy in Incredibles?
I don't know.
Well, really, it's Jack Jack.
Yeah,
That's what
Jack
you're worried
Jack.
about. You're worried that Jack Jack
That's
is
the
going to
baby.
roll by. No, I
Yeah.
know.
That's
But you're
Jack
sort of
Jack, though,
worried
right
that
there,
Jack
right?
Jack. Yeah. That
Oh.
kid is young enough. That's a Jack
I
Jack.
forget what the fast one is though.
Yeah.
But the
the
little
fast
fr-
one is I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roger Moore is a decent enough Bond. It's just the movies themselves, the plots. There's one like the Octopussy one, like is involved with a circus ring of like a drug. Yeah, no, not drug. Diamond or jewel smuggling ring. Yeah, it's just
Aren't
really,
they all?
And the Russians, like the Russians and this jewel smuggling ring.
Oh
and,
yeah, dude. The Russians are horrible. Duh.
and it's set in India most of the time.
They
hey,
look- they have
you know what the
vodka.
Russians do? They sneak down into India and they steal all their diamonds. I mean, that's true in the real world, man.
And like in that movie, they go to every like cliche about Indian culture. Like they have like, the
Bollywood
villain riding
dancing.
elephants to go through the jungle to do like a hunt for James Bond, and then there's like snake charmers and like anything you think about India is in that movie.
Anything you think about India racist?
Yeah, anything you ever seen in any movie that labels something as like Indian culture, like it's in the movie. They're, the only thing that's missing is like the guy riding the magic carpet.
Or the Quickie Mart guy.
Yeah, Apu's not in there. And then the last thing I saw was Zero Charisma, which you talked about
Oh,
last
yeah.
week, and I really, really like that movie.
Yeah.
It's very earnest, and I like how most of the movie they make the main character out to look like a dick,
Yeah.
and it turns out he's kind of in the right by the end because the guy he's railing against is also kind of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he is both justified in his suspicions against that guy while not being justified in the way he behaves.
Yeah, it's something
You know?
the movie I don't think didn't have to do, but it's
Yeah.
cool that they like turned it on its head like that. So
I think if they didn't, then it would just be a movie about a guy you don't like, and,
Yeah.
and then it would fall on its own weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie is. You're right. It's so genuine
Yeah.
that even when the acting is not always good and it's not the most well crafted movie, like production wise, you just forgive all of that because it's just so. It's so on the nose.
Yeah.
Like I said last week, I know those people.
it's not like pandering to nerds. It's like exactly
It is
living in that world.
It is exactly what the Big Bang Theory should actually be.
Oh, yeah.
Like if the Big Bang Theory were those characters, oh my god, I'd watch that show every day.
Bazinga!
No,
No,
get out.
no.
Get out. Drop the mic, get out. I just ordered the host off the show for making that offensive comment.
That's how we feel about Big Bang Theory.
So yeah, that's what I watched. What did you
cool.
watch, James?
I saw a couple things. I sort of got into a documentary rut this week because I found a few from this year that I didn't know were already out or didn't know were on Netflix. Room 237 was the first one I saw, which is the documentary about
The Shining.
the Shining.
Shin.
Do you want to get in suit, dude? Simpsons joke? Anybody? Treehouse of Horror Part 2? No? I'm the only one? All right. I'm
No,
old as
yeah,
fuck.
you're the only one. And this movie is really interesting and really frustrating at the same time because it basically is a documentary about all the conspiracies, and I choose that word very carefully, surrounding The Shining, because some of them are things that are absolutely a part of the movie and things that I wish they had talked about more, like, how often there are American Indian symbols in that movie and all these different things that he is doing very meticulously. Things like how he displays cans of chewing tobacco in the background that have Indians on them and what the word on that can means and how he displays them in the scene and when and why. Things like that, I think, are absolutely things that Stanley Kubrick was thinking about when he made this movie. But they don't delve into that stuff as much as they delve into, like, there's a crazy lady who thinks that she sees minotaurs in the movie all over the place, and even her evidence is very weak, and I just don't get it. There's one guy who thinks that Stanley Kubrick directed the footage of the moon landing. He thinks we landed on the moon, but we didn't actually film it, and Stanley Kubrick was tasked to recreate it so that we could watch it here at home. And then that The Shining is actually all about Stanley Kubrick wanting to reveal to people, and like he sees all these symbols of, like, Danny's wearing a shirt that says NASA and it's a rocket and the ball rolls towards him, and then the thing, and there's like all this stuff that he interprets, and it's a little bit ridiculous.
So basically, you're saying it's Apollo 18.
No, basically, yeah. But the interesting thing about this documentary is not all these crackpot theories, and the reason why I think people should watch it is just thinking about the way that people interpret movies, especially movies like this, that people, I mean, they go crazy over this movie, and I don't terribly love The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Like, I think a lot of these people are making assumptions that mistakes in the movie are absolutely, genius moves that have so much meaning, even if they were intentional, they don't actually have that much meaning. But having a movie like this that makes you think about how people really watch a movie and delve into movies and interpret movies, I think is really interesting.
David Cronenberg says The Shining shit, and Stanley Kubrick doesn't know how to direct horror.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I don't think that The Shining is a very good movie.
On
I
my
think
list
it's
of
gorgeous.
101 of my favorite horror movies, it's 101.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
You know what? Sorry, if people will, like, really believe that Kubrick, like, put all this stuff in the movie, then, like, really what you should do is, like, if that was his intent, it can't be limited to just this one movie, so you would have to go to look at his entire catalog. Like, if that's something that you really believe that he does, is put all these, like, hidden stuff into his movie, then, like, I can't imagine a person would, like, that would be an isolated incident for that person. Like, that would be something creatively that they would want to do every time they go do work.
So,
yeah.
Just like him.
If you really believe this stuff with The Shining, you really need to, like, take your thesis to the rest of the catalog, even just, like, Shortcuts or, Full Metal Jacket, and, like, then come to me and tell me, like, well, here's all these other instances. Then I'd more believe your Shining
I hear, like,
theories.
every fifth word Brad is saying.
Yeah. Basically, what Brad is saying is, like, if you wanted to prove... If you wanted to prove that this was true and that Stanley Kubrick was actually this meticulous, you'd have to go and look at his other movies and prove that he was meticulous with those as well. Yeah. If he's only crazy amounts of meticulous, to the point at which the pattern of the carpet changing is somehow a very important part of the movie, you would have to go back and prove that he does those same things on the other movies and that they were important moves there, which I think is true. But there are things like with the Indians all over the hotel. It's a movie about a hotel that's
Native
haunted
Americans?
by American Indians.
Native Americans?
Sorry, American Indians.
Racist motherfucker. You're probably a fan of the Washington Redskins.
I can tell you why it's supposed to be American Indians. I can tell you. We don't have to talk about it now, but there is a reason why.
I know why.
Okay.
I call them Indians. I'm just being an asshole.
If you call them Native Americans, you take away their name for a second time. You should actually call them Sioux or Ute or whatever their actual tribal group is. Anyway, so it's a movie about, like, a hotel built on an Indian graveyard. Like, there's a reason why there's Indian stuff all over the movie. Like, that's not, I think, reading into it a lot. Anyway, let's move on real quick.
They need to make better movie for my people. How?
Oh man,
Make it more accessible. No, how?
they did. It's called Little Big Man.
That's how they say hi.
Are you mean with Dustin Hoffman playing a Native American?
Yes. Actually, that movie is actually pretty good. That
It
movie
is,
yeah.
But still, it's not.
Stuff like
It's like Al Pacino playing a Cuban.
Or Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
playing a Native American.
it's more the other little
Yeah.
things they put in there, like.
No matter where you are, I will find you.
But part of what's wrong with Little Big Man is that they take real things like the Indians that walk backwards and ride horses backwards and do everything backwards and make them goofy, so then you don't think it's actually real. And in fact, it was real, and those guys were badass.
And of course, the only actual portrayal of Indians is in that old PSA where we're littering and he's crying.
It's the only actual American Indian that's ever been on screen.
That wasn't a stage commercial. That was that filmmaker just caught that event
Yeah.
In that
as it
moment.
happened.
It was,
That's
it was found
awesome.
footage. I also got a chance to see Salinger, which is a movie that the Weinsteins produced this year about J.D. Salinger.
The trailer makes it look interesting, but I heard it's not very interesting.
I think it's fascinating.
Really?
It's such an interesting story that I knew some about J.D. Salinger and how reclusive he was, but this really digs into it and interviews all these friends of his, and by the end, it's a really heartbreaking story. And I feel, on one hand, he is, you look at like the way his kids feel about him, and you think like, maybe he's kind of a dick, and he's so into these characters and into these worlds that he's made that he sort of sacrifices the reality around him. But at the same time, who he was and why he did all of those things just feels heartbreaking. I absolutely recommend that people should check out Salinger. I think it's really
the trailer is
good.
really interesting.
Yeah. And the documentary itself, I think, is built really well, where the subject at hand continues to change, and so they'll delve into a part of his life, and it's pretty chronological. They'll sort of start early on and go through his life.
Is it intriguing enough where you'd get the book that the documentary is based off of, or?
I didn't know it was based on a book.
Yeah,
The
there's a
documentary.
book called Salinger, and it's basically like a companion piece to the
Oh,
documentary.
okay. I didn't know that. I might.
Sorry.
It's interesting. They've got a number of biographers in the movie as well, talking about different phases of his life, as well as people who are close friends with him or were close friends with him, and just hearing about his relationships and how they changed. I think it's really good. And then the very last thing was I got a chance to go see Rush, which is the Formula One movie by Ron Howard starring Thor. And oh shoot, I should actually look this up really quick because I don't know the name of the other guy. Basically, it's the story of Daniel Bruhl. It looks like.
Bruhl, he was in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I know I recognize him, but I don't know if he's French or what. Anyway, he plays Niki Lauda, who is an Austrian Formula One driver.
And by the way, true story.
Yeah, and it's based on a true story. And Chris Hemsworth plays James Hunt. And basically, the two of them sort of started off, and they were competing Formula 3 drivers. And they both got into racing and sort of built this whole rivalry. And what is brilliant about this movie is that it tells two different stories. It tells both these guys' biographies at the same time. It sort of bounces back and forth, and at any one time, or whoever story you're following at that time, that person straight up is the protagonist.
Is Olivia Wilde naked in this movie?
No,
I don't want to see
Yeah.
it then.
she's
I'm checking out.
Let us know when you're not talking about this
This is
movie.
the only movie from this year. I almost thought I should do an article about best use of Olivia Wilde because she was in 5 movies.
She wasn't
this year.
a lot.
Yeah. No complaints.
Then I'd have to watch To the Wonder.
But
and
ask me this. I was reading reviews of it, and they say the racing scenes are really intense and
they are
really well done.
So there's a couple things. One, I think that Formula One is really cool now, and I thought it was just sort of silly before. But it's not even just the how badass these drivers are and all that. It really is the way that Ron Howard directs it. It's so kinetic to the point at which it's almost manic that you can't always keep track of what's going on. And so part of why you're really impressed by these drivers is because he makes you feel like you're riding in the passenger seat with this driver and that you would never be able to do what they're doing because things move so fast and change so fast and the cuts are so quick that you can hardly keep track of what you're actually seeing. It's really, like, that whole part of it is really cool. The other part that's really amazing, and this is, I mean, it's not even really spoilers, but eventually these two guys race, and Niki Lauda gets in this accident and is horribly burned, and he comes back
this
and they
like he comes back too soon. I remember
Yeah.
watching a ESPN documentary about it.
yeah.
Not
So
the-
I'm not going to give away the actual ending here because yes, it's technically history, but I didn't know this story. But yeah, he comes back after getting burned, and they race again at the end of the movie. And when they race that last time, I realized how brilliant this movie is that I didn't know who I was supposed to be rooting for. Like, these two guys are having such a, this crazy rivalry, but I emotionally was invested in both of them, and it didn't matter who won, I still was going to lose. And the way that real life found a way to solve that problem for me in this movie is fantastic. The end of the movie is great. Honestly, I think this might be Ron Howard's masterpiece. I think this
Wow.
might be his best film. And he might never make anything this good again. I also saw the trailer for American Hustle before this movie, and my God, American Hustle looks like some
Awesome.
kids. No, American Hustle
Awesome.
looks like some kids in high school are trying to make a 70s
well,
movie.
good for you.
Rush looks like a guy who actually lived through the 70s and grew up in the 70s, made this movie, and made it perfect.
See,
because
but you got to take your I Hate David O. Russell sunglasses off.
No, here's the thing.
You only like
okay,
this movie because the main character has your name.
James
Hart.
Hunt. His
Oh.
name is James Hunt. But you're very clear. Yeah, you're right.
Close enough.
James Hunt, kind of a dick. Though actually, Niki Lauda, a total asshole. So, as much as you like these guys, they are both also not very good people. Shit, what was I?
How bad American Hustle looks without you seeing it.
No. So, not only does this is more about Ron Howard. Not only does like the set design and the costumes and all of that stuff look like the 70s, but I don't know what he did, but the way the movie is shot looks like the 70s. Not in the way the camera moves, but in the film. I think he probably shot it on film. The way they did the color correction, it makes it feel like you're watching 70s television, honestly. And it is so cool. And he also, I think, sort of solves the problem of, because, especially since in this case you can't keep track of what's going on in the race. This is a movie that could very easily rely on that same crutch that Apollo 13 does, where you have to keep cutting back to like announcers that are telling you what's happening, or like during the race you have the announcers talking. And it does during the races, you do hear the announcers, but they are so drowned out by the engines that you are almost straining to hear them. And I think he very specifically only lets you hear clearly a couple of words from the announcers, just enough that you kind of know, like, oh, okay, that person passed that person, and then you move on. And so it sort of solves that problem of letting you know exactly what's going on and keep track of the action while not relying on
And
this
force
crutch.
feeding it to you.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Spider-Man 3 where you get to the end and like the news people are telling you all the action and why you should care.
the monster is so big.
Yeah. But it's fantastic, and the tension is just great. It's absolutely a must-watch. Everybody should see this movie. It's great. And that's what I watched this week.
Very cool. We made it to the comic book corner.
We did.
What you got for me this week, James?
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
So, now I feel like I should have got something for Thor after we saw Thor this week, but I actually am going to pull out some Captain America.
Nice.
Yeah, there is a run of Ultimate Captain America from a couple years ago that Jason Aaron did. Oh shit! And now I'm not going to remember the bad guy's name. I think it's the flag. I think it's the American flag. Is the guy's name ananyway?
Has a flag on his face?
Yeah, he's got the
Yep.
flag on his face. Yeah. Basically, Cap goes to Vietnam and gets kidnapped by the Flag, who was basically like during the time in which Captain America was in ice. The America kept trying to like replicate Captain America, and this was one of those guys. But turns out he was kind of a crazy pants and a dick, and specifically because he was the Captain America. Or he was Captain America sort of during Vietnam, and so it's this take on what Captain America would be like if instead of being part of, wow, this is going to sound really bad, but instead of being part of the greatest generation, he is part of the generation that unfortunately was yoked by Vietnam. And not only is Captain America badass in this Jason Aaron story, but the whole way that it delves into, Captain America missing that war, and what would it have been like if we had somebody like Captain America around during that part of American history. It's really good. I don't know what issues it is, but if you go and just check, honestly, Ultimate Captain America did not run for very long. It's not a very big book. So if you just go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics and ask for some Ultimate Captain America, I'm sure they probably have some of the back issues there too. You could just find the Jason Aaron arc. It's really great. So people should check that out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love Cap. This week we saw Thor: The Dark World. Bree, should people go see Thor: The Dark World?
Yes, I think they should go see Thor: The Dark World. You know what? I really liked it. Initially, when I saw the trailers for the new Thor movie, I liked what I saw in the trailers because I saw it was taking a lot of the scenes were taking off-world. Every time when I see a Marvel movie, I get kind of bored when they're in our universe. I like seeing the whole other element. I mean, the Marvel universe is just so expansive that I just really love when I see them delve into the worlds of the characters.
Brad, should people go see Thor: The Dark World? Brad hates all movies. James, should people go?
Stupid. No, it was all right. It was really funny and action packed. I don't know. For some reason I still can't I like it. I can't love the Thor universe yet. I don't know. It's definitely competent, well made, entertaining movie. Actually, more entertaining than the first one. Actually, but. I probably don't like it as much as you guys do. So,
I'm going to turn right over and say I rewatched Thor this week, and Thor is still my favorite Marvel movie out of all of them. And while this does not quite hit all the beats that I wanted out of a sequel, this movie is fucking fantastic, and everybody should see it. It's so much fun and really cool. So, I mean, unless you're some crazy person who just doesn't like Marvel movies. Then
what are you looking at me for? I have to describe that because people can't see
kidding.
what you're doing.
No, I know. Yeah, absolutely. People should go see this movie.
Yeah, this movie was awesome. Unlike Brad, I can enjoy movies unless... Just kidding, Brad. Hey, Brad, show the trailer and don't show the trailer.
I knew this was going to happen. Like, last night I went home and I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to have to wait a whole another day before they rag on me for my opinion.
Why can't we just rip this Band-Aid off right away?
And it's not even. I'm not going to say that I hate it. It's going to be just like a little less than awesome,
right.
And they're going to tear me apart.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Hit it on the head. Here's the trailer for Thor: The Dark World.
Go see it.
After all this time, now you come to visit me, brother. Why? To mock.
I need your help. But I wish I could trust you.
If you did, you'd be the fool I always took you for.
Some believe that before the universe, there was nothing. They're wrong. There was darkness, and it has survived.
What's gonna happen?
I gave you my word. I would return for you.
You face an enemy, known only to a few.
Known only to one.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
If we do nothing, they will destroy us.
You even think about betraying him.
I'll kill you. That was from New York.
I like her.
Thor, your bravery will not ease your pain. Your family, your world will be extinguished.
We're running out of time.
The very fabric of reality will be torn apart.
I'll find a way to save us all.
All yours.
Anyone else?
Did you just
I'm
say
like
hit it
that.
on the head because it's a Thor thing? Like with
Hey.
hammers?
Look at you. You're picking up on my subtlety.
So you do like Thor?
I said I enjoyed the movie. It's just
No, I know.
I-
And that's the
yeah.
thing. I've been in your seat so many times before as well. Of like, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, or
liking
it
a movie,
could be
but
like,
not
you know, you
loving
like
it.
the Hunger Games and you two guys don't like it at all, and then you think I'm stupid for liking the Hunger Games.
Well, that is stupid. I don't
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
else to tell you. It's
But
like-
anyways, Thor,
bees.
it takes place, I want to say, kind of right after Avengers.
Yeah.
Where Thor is going around to the Nine Realms, and he's trying to restore order in it. Because remember, Asgard isn't some fictional place somewhere. Well, I mean, it's fictional.
it is a fictional
It is
place.
fictional, but I mean, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's not some space place. It's
It's
they're,
not
they're like
ethereal.
they're like in charge of the universe.
Yeah.
And so Thor, as the enforcer, is going around to these different realms, and he's basically policing them and putting them back in place after Loki, disrupted everything from the Avengers. And his journey doesn't come without speed bumps. Of course, Loki, who has become maybe the most popular character besides Iron Man in these movies,
Yeah.
is, he's brought into prison, and it's Thor's job to clean it all up. And what's great about this movie is I think it's still why the first Thor is successful and why this one is every character has defining moments, and every character has motivation, and every character is well thought out. Thor just wants to live his life. He doesn't want to be, burdened with running his kingdom, his father's kingdom.
Yeah.
Loki feels he deserves the kingdom, where Thor is given the kingdom and he doesn't want it. Loki feels, hey, I deserve this.
Yeah.
I'm the most regal person we have, and Odin obviously is not going to give it to him because Loki, if you remember from the first Thor, is actually a bastard. So, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting play on it, and it starts. I actually think the movie starts kind of slow, and not in a bad way, but it kind of just building up all these things. And McAuliffe, how do you pronounce his fucking name? McAuliffe, is that right?
I just
Malekith.
Malekith.
Yeah.
What a weird name.
The Dark Elf. I had to figure out who you were trying to talk about.
McAuliffe. Malekith, whatever.
He's a silly-looking villain in the books. Like
In the books, he's really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks pretty cool in the movie.
Yeah.
And basically, I guess they were the original bad guys, and Odin's father thought he killed them all, and some of them escaped, which you learned early in the movie.
They're basically the new Frost Giants.
Yeah.
The
major selling point in this movie, of course, is Loki and Thor.
Yeah.
And there's a great scene that we're going to play for you right now with Thor and Loki, and it's a little back and forth between the two. So enjoy.
I know you seek vengeance as much as I do. You helped me escape Asgard, and I will grant it to you. Vengeance. And afterward, this cell.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help. What makes you think you can trust me?
I don't. And you should know that when we fought each other in the past, I did so with a glimmer of hope that my brother was still in there somewhere. That hope no longer exists to protect you. You betray me, and I will kill you.
When do we start?
I'm sure there's one on EPK.
We just left nothing in there because there was no scene.
So I guess we'll get to the movie now. Why I think this movie works so well is all the actors are really good in it, and they all believe their motivations in doing things. Of course, everybody thinks Tom Hiddleston steals the movie, and he probably does again.
Yeah, no, I would say he probably does. Yeah, I mean, my favorite moment in the movie, and this is not terribly far in, but my favorite moment and the reason why I love Thor 1 so much is when Thor, or when Loki finds out that he is a frost giant and confronts Odin about it. And in this movie, my favorite moment is when Thor, after they've been attacked by the Dark Elves, and Thor goes to Loki's prison, and their mom is killed, and Thor tells him, like, enough of the illusions, just turn it all off. And all of a sudden it just turns into this room that's been destroyed, and Loki is there in, like, prison garbs, just, like, clearly he has been sobbing, and he's just sitting on the floor, and you're just like, oh, like, it's such a wonderful image of who that character constantly is. You know, he's in all of the movie, he's, like, changes his clothes and stuff, and now you realize, like, at all times, he is always putting on this illusion of being so cool and so in charge of himself and aware of his surroundings, when in fact he is like this damaged little boy.
And it's his defense mechanism. He puts up things to stop him. And my wife,
so good.
She was talking about, because my wife doesn't like sci-fi movies, and this movie's really sci-fi.
If I have any complaints about this movie, it is that it's almost too Star Warsian for what I expect out of Thor.
And my wife said I asked her why she likes Loki so much, because she wouldn't stop talking about Tom Hiddleston on the way home. And she said because he's one of those guys where you want to trust him, but you'll never ever trust him. And the way he's portrayed and the way he's played in the movie is he's portrayed that way, where what is real, what is not real, who's the real Loki. You don't even know who is the real Loki. You never know.
Yeah.
Not saying like, physical wise, but
like what are his actual motivations?
Yeah.
Like, does
you don't know.
You want to believe that somewhere down in there there's a version of Loki that's really good and wants to be in charge again, but you don't actually know if that's true.
And I think
that's the question.
Why it works so well, because he cared about his mother so much that when she's taken from him, that he wants the revenge. He wants to do it. And then they do that. He double crossed Thor again. And you're like, really? He's going to do it again? But then it got interesting to me. I'm like, oh, sweet, what's Loki going to do now? And and then again, it's another illusion. So again, what is his motivation?
Yeah.
And I think it's actually hard. That's why I like Chris Hemsworth too. Is he has a hard job in it, because he has to be this noble hero. He doesn't have like the coolest lines like Loki does, but he has to carry this movie, and he does a great job too.
Oh yeah. Well, and he has the other side of that coin of being the brother of Loki, who, I mean, he's us in a lot of ways, where you see that he also wishes that Loki could be good again. He even says that in the movie. He even says, like, there was a time where I thought my brother could come back, and he says he doesn't believe. Oh, it's so good. Like, I
think that's the EPK scene.
It's even, I said before that there were a couple beats I didn't get out of this movie that I wanted. When I rewatched Thor this week, when it was over, I got really emotional thinking about the fact that I really wanted a scene where Odin confesses how much he wishes that Loki would come back as well. Like, especially like in that scene where the guard comes back and says that Loki has died, I really wanted an emotional moment there from Odin where Odin's like,
but see, I'll counter that with that's not his character.
I know,
because his character too is, even when Thor is, remember in the first Thor when Thor's acting up, and even in this one when he's acting up, he's like, kill him.
Yeah.
It's I'm the father of these realms, from a father to you.
He even said, like, capture Thor by any means necessary.
Yeah.
No, and I
like,
know that's
Thor.
true. It's just not what I want.
That's not what you want. But
what I want is for that father.
But I think if you want that portrays who the character is.
No, I know.
Odin, even though he's been there forever, so he's used to losing people. So he's always like, even if we're going to lose people, I'm still protecting the realm. So I think Odin is past showing that emotion to to anybody.
Oh, absolutely. Can we talk for a second about fucking Rene Russo?
Sure.
That scene is so cool. Like, Marvel has been out there talking about the fact that they want, like, badass women in their movies, and they want to have as many, like, female superheroes as they can get. And when that scene where she's protecting Jane Foster and ends up dying, when she just kicks the shit out of Malekith for a second, I was like, this is so cool. Like, I think I feel like Marvel is inadvertently putting a challenge out there to DC, like, we dare you to make a Wonder Woman movie with any scenes as badass as this one. Oh, because I was in heaven in that moment. It was so good.
Brad, how about you? You're quiet.
I said most of what I thought about the movie early on. I mean, obviously I'm not as into it as you guys are, but it's really, like, the thing I enjoyed most was the humor, even though It kind of would be feels a little out of place.
It's almost too funny for its own good.
To be like a epic action film, but still, it was the jokes, the humor in it was really hilarious.
Yeah,
especially like when Thor hangs up his hammer.
I was just going to say that, just like a little subtle thing, like where he hangs, the Mjolnir on there, or at the end where the end battle, by the way, is badass.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually really like obviously it's the portal, a portal gag.
Yeah,
but you don't see a lot. It's just a clever way to like make these end battles more interesting because we see them in so many superhero movies.
Yeah,
they're all epic and they're destroying stuff, but they it's another layer where like all those variables change how they're able to fight.
Yeah,
taking because the hammer is such an easy way for Thor to win, to have it constantly like taken away from him.
And that was cool too with the Mjolnir, where he's going in between the portals and it's trying to find him throughout the world.
It's constantly resetting its direction.
And then falls through a portal and it just turns straight up and shoots into the space and you're like, oh shit.
And the humor is great too, where all the characters are like, Jane.
Ian. When Darcy said, Jane, Ian, meow meow.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's really dynamic filmmaking.
I mean, I will say that like during that whole combat scene, like it is really cool and visually interesting, but I there were parts where I lost track, where I didn't know where we were anymore, and it felt a little bit messy, in parts of that action scene. But I think this movie took like two of the big criticisms that I thought were very valid from the first movie, and just like made sure they addressed those things, which were that the last action sequence was big and interesting, and the villain was actually a villain. It's not like them fighting the Destroyer in the first one, which is fairly bland. Here, that action sequence is cool, and then they make Asgard so cool. Like Asgard has people in it, and it feels populated. And they added those mountains behind it, so that it feels more like a planet than just an island in space. And
but again, the enemy race is another like. All you see of their infrastructure is that they go to war. Like, all they do is it looks like they just train to fight 24 hours a day.
The movie is I think the villains look cool.
Yeah,
and they do cool things. But again, it's just like, well, we're here to fight.
Yeah, that's all our society is.
Yeah.
Is just warriors.
Yeah. Well, I think in this case, because we never see, and I guess this is sort of what you're getting at, is we never see what the Dark World looked like before, like the battle at the beginning of the movie, and so what we have. The bad guys we have for most of the movie, Malekith's ship is basically like just one battleship left over floating in space that has been asleep for all these years, and so it's not even really a civilization. It's just like if 100 years from now somebody found like a U.S. Navy battleship floating in the ocean and everybody was asleep, like it wouldn't seem like a civilization. But I guess if we'd seen the Dark World as an actual planet with people on it, and then like we saw Malekith basically destroy his own planet to try and beat Asgardians, then you might get a better sense of that.
Yeah, it's just in general, like, and this goes for a lot of movies, not just Thor. Just like over and over again, I constantly see just like the enemy, like all you see of their society is like the war part, and obviously naturally, like that's not like a natural occurrence,
Well, I think too. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I think that's why Ender's Game was so successful for me too, is because you learn that they probably weren't even going to attack anymore anyways, and we just annihilated this race.
It almost turns that aspect you're talking about into like a part of what that movie is trying to say, in that they also show us nothing but.
But I get what you're saying too, because like with the Dark Elves, I mean, their motivation
with everything you can do nowadays, like visually with films, like they constantly cop out. It just seems lazy to me. Like with Ender's Game too. Like obviously, they explained why, like they live underground, but like show me underground too. Like just don't say it's under there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Yeah, it's more curiosity because I just want to know about some of the other sides of the movies deeper. Obviously, 2 hours you can't get to it, but I don't know. It just seems like, oh well, we'll save some money by not showing you what else the Dark Elves do.
Especially now that you've brought this up and I've been thinking about it, it would have been. That whole sequence at the beginning would have been way more badass and cool if they had, like I just said, showed us that and made what Malekith does at the beginning of the movie way more impactful, because instead of just like destroying his own army hoping that that'll kill the people, if we had seen like civilian cities there where he was trying to destroy all of the universe, and ended up destroying his own world, including all those civilians. That would have been really cool. And then you would have gotten that where we feel like the Dark Elves are actually like a civilization that have something to fight for, and while at the same time adding so much more weight to what he does at the beginning.
Yeah, because Malekith's kind of one-dimensional. You know, he's just like.
But
look,
two-sided.
And then there's a villain in Loki where it's like he is more death because he has two sides to him.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Malekith's just like, I just want to destroy everything, make things dark. Me.
Yeah. But the way they solve Malekith, because in the comics he's like straight down the middle. He's black on one side, and it's just silly looking. Like he looks like a clown. So the way that they solve that of getting him smashed in the face with a lightning bolt and then giving him that badass scar, I thought that was cool.
And Bree's on the show too.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was after the movie. I really didn't have a lot to say because I was happy I saw that movie. Seeing it at the Alamo, the trailers from the beginning, and just getting into that whole mode of that whole universe was just the experience of seeing that movie there. And I say that that movie just had. When I saw the look of that movie, I'm just like, well, by the end of this movie, I'm going to end up getting this on Blu-ray. This is just the way the visuals were, the comedy. I would never expect it. I would never expect to see that guy not wearing pants in the comic.
Stellan Skarsgård is hilarious.
But the movie was funny. I really don't have too much criticism for this movie. I mean, hopefully, only thing that I say though is in this movie they made Thor a strong character. I just don't really feel like everyone else in the next movie has a strong background as this movie. I have more of a feel for Thor. I seen the Iron Man movies. I seen the other different movies, and I just didn't get that same. I didn't get hyped up as much as when I saw this movie because this movie makes me want to go back and read the Thor comic books and do all this stuff. But I'm curious on how everything's going to turn out. At the end, I mentioned to Brad, I was like, well, was that Thanos? Well, I went on IGN, and that was the Collector at the end. Well, he said his name was Collector, but basically, I listened to the backstory, did some research on his backstory. So, that's all.
I did too. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
He's one of
what's going
the
on?
first beings in the world, and he goes around and he collects dangerous objects to keep them from other people. And so for whatever he might need them for. So if he collects a Fantastic Four, maybe he needs a Fantastic Four to fight something for him. Or with it, and I was thinking about it too. I was driving home because this is the stinger at the end. So if you don't want to hear it, the Infinity Gems. Remember, the Tesseract is one, and then also the Ethereal is one. So they're not going to be actual gems.
Yeah, that's what was weird when he said that about we already have the Tesseract on Asgard, so keeping two Ethereal gems in the same place. I was like, whoa. It's not or Infinity Gems. I was like, wait, the Tesseract is not an Infinity Gem. That's a different thing. But they're clearly gonna tie them together. They're gonna pretend that the Infinity Gems are actually made of.
Remember when the Infinity Gauntlet was in the first Thor, though? It's like in the background.
I would really love to talk to Kevin Feige about that at some point because my suspicion is that Marvel always knew that Thanos was going to be in that first arc. Especially by the time they got to Thor, and that basically that was probably just overzealous set decorators that were like, wouldn't it be cool if in this room we had the Infinity Gauntlet? And then when they cut the movie together and Feige and the producers saw it, they were like, whoa, you can't show that.
Well,
we haven't made that in this universe
maybe
yet.
Too, if when you put on the gauntlet, the energy from all of them goes into the gems.
Yeah.
And so that's how he gets, because basically Thanos' thing to get that is he wants to kill people because he's in love with death.
Yeah.
So he wants to kill millions and billions and trillions of people to please her. So it's an interesting thing. And so, the Collector's an interesting character. I was doing research on him, too. In the comics, he kind of looks like Benicio del Toro.
Right.
He's like some old dude and really bizarre looking.
One of the comparisons, though, without having, without the other characters having the backstory, I think Thor's backstory is more expansive because it's showing all those realms. If you have, heroes that originated on Earth, their story can only go so far. But people, characters like Thor and Thanos, when they start, releasing those movies, I think those movies will be more expansive because they have just, so much background.
Yeah.
But not taking anything for all the other movies are great, but I think the two greatest superhero movies I've seen has been Thor and Superman, Man of Steel.
Yeah, to me it feels more like, and it's part of why I love Thor so much, and it is my favorite Marvel movie, is because they're more dramatic, and that character is defined by his relationship with his dad and his relationship with his brother, and I don't think that any of the other characters you could say that as much. And
Stormtrooper's not looking so good.
I love, yeah, he's worn out. Technically, that's a clone trooper.
It is a clone trooper.
But anyway, I think he's great.
One thing I wanted to say though is when I was watching the movie when Thor was kind of blew off that one girl from his home planet, I was just like, man,
poor Sif.
I would have hooked up with her. But the thing about that though, I think each of these superheroes though, they do try to make it where they are involved with some kind of Earthling or whatever, because if they didn't have any love for any of the human beings, they'd be like, forget it. I don't care what happens to Earth. I don't, but when they have loved ones down here, they're just like, I'm going to fight for
And I think
Earth.
you hit something right. I think Thor is a protector of Earth, and I think he has feelings for her, where Odin, he doesn't care. He's like, whatever.
What a great scene when he brings Jane Foster in and she's sick, and Odin's like, I don't care. Get this goat out of my lobby. Like, this is not. I don't give a shit about this person. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel bad. I wish there were more Sif in this movie too, because I think Sif is badass, and like, especially there's that one scene where like she Darth Mauls her sword, right? She's gonna fight those dudes, and then they cut away, and I was like, no.
Well, at the end, I actually thought Sif, when they showed that whole collector scene, though, I thought Sif was going to betray Thor, because I thought she kind of felt like, kind of bad,
Still slighted,
slighted that he didn't hook up with her.
Oh, I would hate that.
Yeah.
Because I think what it is that they added more Warriors 3 into this movie, so that we get to see, I don't know their names, but like we get to see the dude
Clarnin, Burnin, and Sternin.
I don't.
That's my
You don't
Hobbit
know
joke.
him either. So I think because they added more of those, they were like, well, we can't have as much Sif as we did in the first movie, but I want a Sif movie.
And you know what? I'm going to say too, I love seeing a
'cause she's
superhero
pretty.
movie in November. That is awesome.
Oh yeah. And next year it'll be Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's
the reason,
August, though.
The reason why this movie is so Star Warsian is so that we can be ready for Guardians.
So what are we seeing? I don't know what comes out next week.
So next, I was looking at it a second ago, and then I didn't. I think.
Do you know what we're seeing, Brad?
We'll go to worldnerds.com and look at the schedule.
No, because you even told us yesterday that you don't know what. Oh, I think it has to be Nebraska.
I wrote it down.
You don't want to see Nebraska?
No.
It's on. Of course, I don't have it pulled up. No, definitely
So
not.
James
that.
is looking. I want to thank Bree for coming on the show
Thank
again.
you
We
guys.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys.
Thank you, Rocky Mountain Con, for having us here, having lots of fun. Some good cosplay going on. Appreciate it. You can't just type in realnerdspodcast.com and type. You have to search for it.
It's how I search the internet. Okay. Oh man.
And if you like comic books, we just put up our interview with Ben Templesmith. Lots and lots and lots of fun. We had fun with him. We were worried that it undecided.
Oh, it is undecided.
See, I told you it was not going to be on there. So yeah, next week is either Nebraska or the Best Man Holiday.
Oh, Best Man Holiday! Boom.
Or there actually we'll find something small and indie that goes. Well, I don't know why. I mean, so is Nebraska, but
We could go check out the Stars Film Fest, the Denver Stars Film Festival. See what's playing there on Friday.
What do they have?
I don't know.
I heard
So we could go
on Friday. What were we doing?
The Stars Film Festival.
Yeah,
next week,
apparently there's a huge, the biggest film festival in Denver right now, and yeah, we're totally ignoring it.
All right, cool. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
tweet it. We'll tweet
go
it
see
out.
some movie next week.
Yeah,
no
we'll see
tent poles
something.
this next week.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see Nebraska. Alexander Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Bye.
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 Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.